What's going on, everybody? It's Adam with the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast and in the Baltimore Colt Show. I'm going to give my thoughts on which to me was a disappointing outcome of the Browns and Chargers game this past Sunday and kind of preview this Sunday's matchup against the Cardinals. First and foremost, it was an absolutely entertaining game for if you're a casual fan of the NFL. It was a highly entertaining game, but obviously if you're a fan of the Chargers, you love the game even more because you got away with the W. For Browns fans, it was a highly entertaining game, but you feel like was the wrong outcome. Which, it is what it is. You didn't make enough plays on defense when it mattered. It had a chance at the end with some questionable officiating, but that's just my own personal feelings on the matter, and we'll get to that. Another situation of the tale of two halves. Because like for 2 quarters, maybe even a little bit more than 2 quarters, the defense did pretty well, I thought. And I do want to make this perfectly clear. The Chargers are really good. They are really, really good. I was dead wrong about Justin Herbert. I had that sentiment last year just because I didn't say that he was going to be bad. I just didn't know much of him and how he played last year and how he's played so far. I just wondered what were they doing with him at Oregon. They did not unleash him like they should have because he is an absolute stud. So I'm very impressed with him, and I'll put it out there, right now, because at about this point last year, after the Browns beat the Colts, I had put my stamp on there of if this continues, and depending on how this season ends up, I believe Kevin Stefanski should be Coach of the Year. Lo and behold, he wins it. This year, at this point, I would probably have to give it to Brandon Staley. Now, they are buying into what he's delivering for his team. They believe in him, which is what you want, and I believe that's what the league is going to more is younger, hungrier coaches in the league to go forward. Nothing against anybody else that has any experience, but that seems to be the trend, whether it be Kyle, Cliff, Stefanski, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, but like I said, there was a tale of two halves. Defense played pretty well for about 2.5 quarters. That you still need to eliminate the big chunk plays. A lot of teams are doing the bending but don't break type of defenses, and I believe the Browns defense is set to be smash mouth, shut you down. When fully healthy, smash mouth, shut you down type of defense. The other thing I will say too, because once again there seems to be this revolving or evolving sentiment that we want Joe Woods gone. If that's how you feel, that's fine. But I would just ask what you people want from Joe Woods. He cannot provide the defense that he wants to do when, if your starter's out, you go to your depth, but then your depth gets hurt. Now, I'm not just singling out Cleveland. This is something that's been going around the league. There's a lot of guys that are going to be out for a significant amount of time or is out for the year. I mean, knock on wood. Luckily, we're not at that point yet in terms of the names that whether it be Clowney, Denzel, Greg Newsome, etc. But you could see, particularly in those two long touchdowns to Mike Williams, full-fledged miscommunication, and you cannot, if you give up one It sucks, but you cannot do that twice in a game. It cannot happen. Um, but on the flip side of that, I give a lot of credit to Greedy Williams, who was playing great. He was excellent in the Minnesota game. I believe he was excellent in this game. And a big shout out to AJ Green. Not that AJ Green, this different cat. But he has been playing very well. But things catch up to you when you're not taking reps with the ones, or you haven't played with the John Johnsons, the Troy Hills, the other personnel on the defense. You're going to have those. You're going to have those breakdown in play in the secondary. Having Clowney out did hurt. I know that he was trying to give it a go, but in the pregame, something else flared up and he felt like he couldn't go. I got no issue with it. As I've said before, if he's not ready, don't force the issue. The other thing I would want, especially Browns fans, to consider, this stretch was going to be brutal. You have 3 games in 11 days. You have the game this past Sunday. You got the Cardinals at home this upcoming Sunday. Then you got to turn around and play Thursday night. So my thing is, like, everything is predicated for this game and next Thursday. So I think people need to have that frame of mind. But the offense was stellar. I mean, Hunt and Chubb they do what they do best. Baker, I thought, bounced back very well. And I mean, he was like, 22 of 33, something like that, for 300 plus yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, which I believe is a big key. Unfortunately, overall, if I were to tell you that they provided 500 plus yards of total offense, no turnovers, and scored 42 points, you thought this would have been a slaughter. Not the case. They lose 46-42. And again, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because they played so well, and the defense did let things squander in the second half. And again, this is not taking anything away from the Chargers. They're a really good team. The only thing I will say is, and this was for both teams, that was a horribly officiated game. I could point out things left and right, but my main crux of the matter was it was 4th and 4. Herbert throws a 50-50 ball, throws a prayer. And the receiver for the Chargers had a handful of A.J. Green's jersey, and they called defensive pass interference. They were both jockeying for position. They were both smacking hands and all that. To me, it was a no call. It was a no call. Both guys had every right to the ball, but they both had a handful of each other's jerseys. But they even brought on Gene Steratore, for the little soundbite. He had said, to me, that's just a no call, which is what I would have leaned towards. But Gene said, if it was going to go one way or the other, how is that not on the receiver? The defender is towards the ground. You have a handful of his jersey. That should have been OPI. But to me, it should have been a no call. Browns get it there in midfield, and who knows what happens from there. But could they have won despite that? Absolutely. Maybe you don't just have a draw play on 3rd and 10. And I don't know what into that decision making. Even Baker said it earlier this week. No one questioned the play call against Minnesota when it was 3rd and 20-something, and Kareem picked up 33 yards. Maybe they saw something in the defense that warranted it. I don't know. Again, I'm not a coach. I really can't formulate why that happened. But again, if he breaks free or gets closer to the first down, maybe they go for it, or he gets the first down, and then nobody says a word. But that's besides the point. I also think that especially if you're going to call that pass interference, then to me they should have called pass interference on the Hail Mary play when to me it looks like David Njoku gets tackled to the ground at the goal line. Again, that's That's just me. I'm sure I'll be called a homer or you're just biased, whatever. That's how I saw it. But it is what it is. I mean, it's done. It's over with. They played well enough to win. Again, just a few small things here and there that prevented that game from going the Browns' way. So you're still 3-2. The sky is not falling. Much like this game, much like the Chiefs game, you are proving that you can hang with the elite of the elites in this league. So again, the sky's not falling. You get to turn around and you get to try again to go 1-0 against a very good Cardinals team with a high-powered offense. This is, especially this stretch of game, going back into to last week, this is going to prove how good the Browns are. If you can come away with the win this game, which I do believe the Browns will, because the Cardinals have not faced a defense like this. And most of the guys that were either hurt or out last week is back this week, and you're gonna need full firepower because the Cardinals have a big playbook of four receivers with Green, Hopkins, etc. They've got a plethora of talent, and Kyler's special. But I do believe, especially where Kyler is, where a little bit of his downside is pressure up the middle. And that way, the Maliks and Clowney, or if you put Miles in the center, whatever, to me can give him fits up the middle. Now they got to execute. To me, this is why we signed Clowney. If Miles gets close and Kyler slips away, one of the Maliks or Clowney should be there to clean it up. But also, again, Kyler is special. He's fast. He's elusive. There's going to be times where he breaks away from tackles. That's just what he does. He's very good at it. But I think this is going to be another display of you're going to have to win a shootout, and it could come down to somebody just making that one play, whether from any of the phases, particularly for me, special teams. But they got it. The defense has got to tighten up this week. You can't let you can't have breakdowns in the secondary. Everybody's got to mind their P's and Q's. So, and they have to come to Cleveland before we had to go out west back in 2019. And I think this is going to be a different outcome. I firmly believe that the Browns can dethrone the undefeated team. So it's going to be a fun game regardless. But like I said, I do believe the Browns can pull away with the W on this one. So I can go on for an hour about some other instances, but I may do that in the next video on Sunday or Monday. We'll see how it goes from there. But just want to give my thoughts. But for this upcoming week's game and last week's game, I do like the position where the Browns are. They like I said, they can prove they can play with anybody. They just got to shore up a couple of things here and there to do one or two more things or eliminate one or two things for them to walk away with the W. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you on our next video, whether it be the picks next week or another wrestling video. So anyway, I will see you guys later.